Okay. So to give a very brief recap into what went on last session, Iljor, you were in Miraki doing some trades. You made the trek back to your shack where you live with your mother, Figwin. You enjoyed a very nice owlbear stew. And then later on that night, she had given you an amulet. This amulet had been possessed by your father some years ago. And it just didn't really it didn't really conjure any sort of positive energy, at least according to your mother. And she kind of asked you to get rid of this thing and get it out of the forest. There's a whole backstory with your mother and your father when he found it, at the archaeological dig and everything. But for the sake of time, you ventured out to kind of figure out more about this thing before simply getting rid of it. And you had made your way to Anchorage in the morning, the night after talking with your mother. You spent the better part of 12 to 14 hours, I think it was, on your way to Anchorage, where you kind of stayed on the outskirts of the city. You awoke the next morning, went into the city, and met with a Gurnus. I forget his last name. Gurnus. He's a dwarven wizard that you are kind of an acquaintance with. You asked him some questions about the amulet, but he didn't really know much about it. The only thing he could really identify in that Nick's character, Anarian, was also in this magic shop, who kind of like collaborated with Gurnus and to give you a little bit more information. Essentially, the green gems are essentially chaotic magic. Not necessarily evil. I want to make that distinction. There's chaotic magic and there's evil. Some evil is chaotic and some chaotic can be evil, but
it's like lawful versus chaotic versus.
It can be chaotic is essentially just sometimes uncontrollable. It doesn't necessarily have to be evil or lawful or anything. Just magic that can't really be tamed in any certain way.
It's wild magic.
Kind of, yes. Essentially in the same vein as wild magic. Gurnus and Anarian offered to take you to a man by the name of Ernest Pryor, who is a part of the Shadowkeep underneath the city of Anchorage. You guys had trekked through the city, did some dealings with a couple gnomes, ran into a very shady tabaxi, but in due time, you had made it to the entrance of basically the sewer system of the city where the Shadowkeep lies underneath. Making your way, battling rats along the way, you came upon a door, did the secret knock, and you were eventually led in to what you believe is the Shadowkeep Guild, the Thieves Guild. So we will pick it up from there, which I think everybody. I turned the music up just a little bit, but make sure everybody's good.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Yeah, it's good for me.
So, stepping into this room, eager to meet with this man by the name of Ernest Pryor, which you don't really know. Anarian, you don't necessarily remember what he looks like. You thought maybe you have done dealings with him or possibly some of his mates in the past. But as I had described before, I believe the room itself is kind of circular, kind of with different doors along the sides that might lead into like different hallways into other rooms, adorned in various fabrics lining the walls, and the sweet smell of oak wood incense burning in the corner somewhere.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. The room is fairly well lit, with many individuals of all races, mostly Dragonborn, Tabaxi, and a lot of humans. Sitting around table, seemingly in the middle of plans, others lounge amongst the furniture, reading books and researching. So, what would you two like to do?
Well, I mean, we only came down here with one goal in mind, so let's go find Ernest.
Gotcha. I have no clue where we're going.
Where do I know whereabouts he would, like, I'd be able to find him or somebody I can talk to find that information out?
Your best bet would probably just to be to ask somebody.
Okay.
He doesn't have any sort of private quarters or any sort of designated area that he would be
Is
in.
there a like a bar or something down here, like somewhere where people are congregating? I don't know.
Easy.
There's a small bar. I mean, it's like more so of like bar stools and like a countertop, really,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
they might serve like small things. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
All right. I'll make my way there instinctually. Try to ask somebody something.
okay.
So-
The human behind the countertop, kind of shortish, blonde hair, dressed in a very like distinct chainmail, as most of
Yeah.
everybody is in some kind of armor. The human. Oh, that's weird.
I do still have my hood up, even though we're not outside.
Okay.
So.
As you step up, the human kind of finishing up what he's doing. Yes, what can I get you?
What do you have?
We have water, different kinds of ale. We're kind of low on stock right now, but
Give me whatever ale you recommend.
roger that. As he reaches down below, you can see his right arm moving seemingly to, move the tap or whatever. And he places a very small stein on the table.
Okay. I'll take a drink from it and then set it back down. I'll look over to. Did you come up to the bar with me, Iljor?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay.
You're taking the lead here.
That's fine. Did you want anything?
You got any root brew?
I believe we do, actually. As he reaches down, he kind of sifts through the various contents underneath the countertop. You can see his right arm move again, as his left arm places a stein next to you, Iljor, of the infamous root brew.
You wouldn't happen to know where I could find Ernest right now, would you?
Ernest. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's over there in the corner. And as you can see, he points over to the... it's probably about 20 feet away from the door that you had came into. This man kind of... now that you see him, it's kind of coming back, his sort of features and everything. He's a very middle-aged, dark-haired human male, adorned in like much the same, a very distinct chainmail, in tattered garb. Not anything fancy, but definitely like an amalgamation of like, it doesn't seem to be like a complete outfit. He's a part of the Thieves Guild. He's probably he's probably taken much of this from various different parts of the world, and so it's really showing that like he is just from everywhere essentially. But you see him kind of sitting at a table with a very it seems to be like a dragonborn. You can kind of see from the back of the head or whatever. And they're very lightly discussing something, kind of throwing their heads back, laughing. Nothing really like serious or anything, but yeah.
Okay. I'll finish my my drink up since it wasn't a very big one, and then I'll make my way over there once Iljor's ready.
Absolutely. And as you
How much do we owe you?
4 silver pieces. We'll call it fine.
Yeah. I'll toss it to him.
Okay. Anything else I can help you with, the gentleman?
No, that should do it. I appreciate it.
Throws a rag down. Goes back to doing his business behind the counter.
Okay. I will, I'll then
go say
make
hi.
my way.
As you weave your way throughout the various furniture and people, you don't get very many like weird looks. Strange folk in these parts are kind of commonplace, so nobody bats an eye at a Furbolg and a drow walking together deep within the sewers under Anchorage. But as you come upon, you just a few feet away from the table, you see Ernest kind of lifting his head back, laughing. So, what shall it be? And you see like this dragonborn kind of sitting there. Before he can answer the question, looks up at you two, and Ernest looks up at you two as they're kind of like eyeing you. And for a moment, Ernest says, "Can I help you, gentlemen?"
Oops.
I look to Iljor. This is the man.
Hello, sir. I was directed to you at a recommendation for some information about an artifact.
He kind of looks at the dragonborn, you, Orosi, looks back up at the party. An artifact, you say? Well,
Yes, sir.
I might have some answers for a fair.
Well, if I do not have gold to trade, perhaps we can trade something else.
I'm afraid in these parts, money does all the talking. I need something,
What about a-
boys.
What about a
Over at
favor?
Anarion.
A favor. That's something I might be able to get behind if it suits both of us.
Since we have a tentative deal, I pull out the pouch that holds the amulet and I gently set it on the table.
Ernest looks down upon it, as you do as well, Erosi, as you're kind of just taking back this this interaction in stride, kind of paying attention to the both of these people. Ernest says, Now I can't say whether that looks familiar or not. My pockets are a little light. This favor that you propose,
Yes.
I'd like to hear it.
Well, I don't know. Usually, the person who is indebted the favor gets to call upon the person who's performing said favor.
Okay.
So whatever you need, if you need a favor, we will.
Well, let me introduce you to somebody who usually does all my favors and gets paid pretty well. Orosi, this Dragonborn right here is pretty good with accomplishing tasks that I send out. So I'm afraid on my end, I don't really have any favors that can be done from a Furbolg and a Drow.
Be surprised what I could accomplish.
Perhaps I can provide some information about this here amulet. This is not the first time I've seen something, but it comes with a price. Not necessarily a monetary price, but I'm sure the Thieves Guild here can probably whip something up for you in the future, but that would be entirely up to you two.
Yes.
Understood. No stranger to strange jobs.
He reaches out his hand to shake your hand.
I'll reach back.
All right. Ernest Pryor. Now, I'm just a commoner around here. I'm not in any sort of power position. Just a member, but I have connections. And your name might be?
Call me Neron.
Neron. And you, sir? Easily points to the Furbolg.
I am Iljor.
Iljor. I'm surprised you've made it through this door being... What is that? You gotta be at least 8 foot tall?
7. 3.
Now, what sort of business does a Furbolg and a Drow have in these parts?
Oh, like I'd said, I was recommended to you for information about this artifact. It belonged to my father. Well, I suppose that's not necessarily accurate. It's something that he found during some digging that some of the elders of my tribe were doing.
Look, we've heard that you're a collector of sorts. I've seen something like this before. Something with these style of gems. Usually doesn't mean not necessarily bad things, but unpredictable things.
You would be 100% correct in that regard, as lime green gems do sort of give off the presence of chaotic energy. And
I would agree with you.
assuming you know what you're talking about, you'll know that that doesn't necessarily always mean evil. I would advise both of you to be extremely cautious. But, nonetheless, getting into the properties of this amulet.
Yes.
believe I might have seen it before, long ago. This seems to be a relic of ancient humans. You can tell by the age and the structure of the amulet as he kind of looks down closer, not necessarily picking it up, but just studying it from a couple feet
All
away.
the dents and dings and scratches.
Yeah. These people, and take my word as it may, you might want to find a scholar for this. But these people, which I believe are known as the Vanois, approximately 150 to 200 people, worshipped a myriad of deities hundreds of years ago. After they disappeared, around... He looks at you, Orosi, kind of as seemingly to, like, jog his memory for some reason, looking back at the other two. 500 or 600? The years of those? I mean, they were around for quite some time, but they disappeared. Now you
What
can
were these
ask
people called again?
the Vanois. Vanwa. And, you know Elvish, right?
Yes.
Vanois is the Elvish word for lost or forgotten. So that's kind of like the nickname that people have given this tribe or this group of people.
What's it called? Sorry.
Vanois.
Vanois.
The Vanois.
Now, is there a risk if there are more of these artifacts in close proximity?
I don't think the artifacts feed off each other, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. I was worried, really, because, like I'd said, my father found it during a dig, geological sort, I suppose. But I was mostly worried about the effect that multiple of these objects, could have in large numbers, with the chaos that they could bring.
So, in my experience, the best way to indulge in the history of the Vanois and perhaps this amulet by proxy would be to travel to Duluth and speak with a scholar. However, I'm not sure what your intentions are with this talisman, but the best course of action would be to destroy it or get rid of it, or whatever you want to do.
That is currently my plan. But I felt like I needed more information before undertaking that sort of a task.
Understandable. Now these shapes around the amulet. As you can see, as you look at the amulet, let me kind of bring up the picture of sorts.
Also, I do want to let you know that I can't see anything on Foundry. I'm not sure if that's intentional.
It is all black for me too.
Me too.
Since you guys are on the scene.
It's just
the scene has no lighting.
Yeah, the
assuming.
scene has no lighting, probably, or we don't have a form of vision.
That might be it. Yeah, because it is just a black box. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah, let me know. So I gotta do like a special lighting thing. If I drag it, if I make it, I have to like click some options to even get it to show up. So if that ever happens again, just let me know.
It's
Yeah.
a hot looking sewer.
Yeah. But as looking at the amulet, you see. Let me bring up the actual amulet.
Crescent moons, right?
You Iljor have some sort of recognition as like the moon phases. Like obviously it looks like a moon going through moon phases, but you're not really sure what else. Looking into the center, this kind of swirl, whatever. Ernest kind of goes into a little bit of that as he goes on. The shapes around the amulet appear to be indicating moon cycles, and the swirl within indicates a portal or a mixture of substances of some sort. Again, you want to talk to a scholar,
Understood.
but these moon cycles, in my experience, have something to do with time.
Passage of time, somewhat.
So, would it be out of the realm of reasoning that this amulet would have some kind of effect on time? Be some kind of chronological magic?
I don't necessarily believe it has an effect on time.
But its effect could be based on those cycles, maybe.
Correct. And as he kind of sits back in his chair, takes a drink from his stein of ale, kind of like, not very lightly, kind of heavily, kind of puts the stein down on the table. So, at the moment, I don't know what else to say. It's a very interesting and beautiful amulet. But I don't collect anything that is inherently evil or chaotic, just for the safety of those around me and myself.
I start wrapping the amulet up.
Could I take a look at that amulet for a moment?
Sure.
I'll
And I'm like
lay
holding
my
it
hand
through
out.
the cloth. Like the cloth is basically unfolded, but I'm like holding the amulet
Yeah.
under the cloth.
I won't take it from you. I'm gonna cast. I haven't already cast detect magic on this thing, have I? I don't think I did last session.
Somebody cast detect magic at some point.
I did, but I don't think it was on this. It was on the table of the little fucking
Oh.
trinkets and shit that those guys were selling. That's what it was.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit it with a detect magic and see if I can at least get something out of it, something more like a school of magic or something like that. Any info, because I don't have a lot.
Okay. As you conjure the spell, I don't know exactly what school. I guess it may be a little. Okay, so conjuring the spell, you sort of try to get a pinpoint on the school of magic, but you were a little confused as these connotations of every school appear to be kind of popping in and out of existence in your mind. And it appears that there is a little bit of every school in this amulet. And it is very magical.
Well, that didn't give me very much. Well, gave us something, but
You also get a sense of something lying dormant. That it's not inherently radiating this magic, but in the best way I can describe it, sort of a sleeping magic.
It has the potential to.
He has the potential to do something. But
all right, interesting.
I finished wrapping it up.
I cast that and I just kind of hold that info for the moment.
As you wrap it up, casting detect magic and sort of taking a moment to take all of this in and exactly what this is, Ernest kind of sits more proper in his chair, takes the stein in his hand, and looks at you two, kind of going over everything, and he says, "You know, the best course of action would be to travel to Jaluth, and it just so happens that Arosi here is doing a little bit of a job for me in Jaluth. I wouldn't say the path is treacherous, but it's always good to have a fighter with you."
Oh, is that so?
I won't turn down an extra sword or blade.
Reaches, takes his hand off the stein, reaches in his pockets, places a sack of gold in front of you, Arosi.
Rosie reaches over, snatches it.
And you can see him reach in his
Checks
pocket again. He doesn't usually reach for more gold, but in this instance, he's reaching for gold. He says, "Catch," and he throws it at you, Anarian.
All right, yeah, I catch it.
Little sack of gold. Same to you, Iljor.
Oh, thank God, I finally.
Currency.
How much?
30 gold to each Anarian and Iljor, and 45 gold to you, Orosi.
All right.
And he
Much
says,
appreciated,
And he says, "Now,
Ernest.
that should pay for your travel meals, food, anything that might sort of get in your way. Now, I've already instructed Arosi that he is allowed to take my horse and carriage in the north end of town. When you get to the stables, just inquire about Spirit and Soul.
Are those the name of the horses?
Correct.
Okay.
Ah.
But
Well, thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
yeah, if you run into any troubles, Rosie here is fairly well versed in the travels between here, from Duluth and Anchorage and elsewhere. And I wouldn't put it past a furbolg druid to know the ins and outs of the Silverdell.
I know a little bit.
Now, back to our conversation, Arosi, before you go.
Yes.
And he looks back, unzips his backpack, kind of the flap kind of comes open as you see him take out this brown parcel. This.
Rosie takes it? Or is he hand it? It doesn't matter.
He's like sitting on the table in front of you.
Alright. Rosie takes it.
This package is for Judge Bordelone. Ensure that it gets to Parliament in a timely manner. You've never disappointed me now, Rosie. You have never disappointed us here.
You said his name was Judge
Judge Bordelone.
Bordelone.
Bordelone. Bordeleon. Just drop it off in the drop box outside Parliament, and mail carriers will pick it up.
Wonderful.
But other than that, visit the
By
Thieves
the way-
Guild in Duluth. What's up?
Reverend, we don't actually have access to a map.
You don't.
We haven't. I don't think any of us have a map. I don't think any of us bought one.
You are aware of like where to go, kinda, but like you don't have access to a map right now. But kind of wrapping up, Arosi and Ernest, he exclaims, "Just drop it off in the drop box at Parliament. Mail carriers will pick it up, and well, all you really have to do is check in with the Thieves Guild there, and they'll give you a little bit extra for completing the task. And just tell them that Ernest sent you. They'll know."
Rosie nods and he stands up.
Oh, and one more thing. When you get to Duluth, I want you to drop off Spirit and Soul to a dwarven stable keeper, Amon. He shall take care of them there, and if you really need it to go elsewhere, then by all means, take them. But make sure they come back alive.
I'll defend him with my life, sir.
Your information is appreciated, Ernest.
Absolutely.
And I will. I'll also. You know, he gave us some info. I did tell him I was gonna. I owe him a favor, but I'm gonna toss him a little pouch with 9 gold in it as like a thank you.
You're giving him some of the gold he gave you back.
No, I'm giving him the gold. Actually, that was the difference from what I had.
Very well, very well. But this does not sever our agreement.
Correct.
The Thieves Guild
I still
will
owe you
find
that favor, and I will answer.
I would expect
I'm with
nothing
it.
less.
Very well. Is there any other information you guys would like? I'm kind of sort of running on time. I need to make it to Del Riven here pretty soon. But
Well, I thank you for all of your information, and hopefully we can put it to some good use.
absolutely. And Arosi, good luck, friend.
Thank you, sir.
My damn cat, she keeps laying on my keyboard, pressing all the buttons.
Okay. This package, by the way, doesn't have any identifiable markings. You're aware, as the past work you've done, Arosi, is just to kind of like do various little things like this for some change. But he said it was for Judge Bordelone and to drop it off at the drop box in the Parliament in Duluth. But like I said, it's just a brown sack.
Huh.
All right. I will.
Well-
Yeah, I'll just wait until Erosi is ready, and then
Yeah.
we'll all make our way out.
All preparations have already been made. I am ready whenever you are.
All right. Let's get moving. then.
Very well. Let's go.
Okay. Again, weaving your way throughout the various people in the Thieves Guild, making your way out the same way you came in. Through the same sewers, though a little bit of a detour as Erosi's kind of leading the way. Takes you through various places that you hadn't been initially coming, just due to the ignorance of not knowing the correct routes to get there the fastest. So,
And we're going to the stable now, as opposed to
yeah,
previous
it would be a different part, but
yeah.
but initially, like, leaving the place, yeah, it's a little bit of a different sort of route, but nonetheless, probably 15 minutes later or so, you guys come upon a door in the sewers. Walking through it, it's a very small room with a ladder leading up to what is essentially like a manhole.
Yeah.
In a very obscure part of town where there's not very many eyes. You guys crawl up, throw the manhole cover back on, and make your way to the northern stable keep, I presume. Is there anything else that you'd like to do along the way? As presumably, from my understanding, you guys, when you guys get to the stable keep, you take the horses and leave. So is there anything you would like to do in the city before, like, on your way there?
How far of a drive or a ride is making it to Duluth?
To Duluth. Let me bring up, because the way I have it on here is, so this is a very large map. Every foot is an hour. I'll say, for the sake of you guys traveling and like you did your starter gear on D&D Beyond, I feel like just a map of the continent at least would be like a starter item for an adventurer. So
I don't know that all my starter gear is here, because I sure don't have like my packs or anything. Like, I got my backpack, but like normally you get like a dungeoneering pack or something like that that comes with rations and all that. But
You might already be inside the backpack. You have to open it through the modification. Like, you have to click like the little writing thing. It might already be in there, because I had to put mine.
It is already in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. So I should have. They usually come with some rations, but I don't see any rations.
Don't worry about rations. I think I'm only going to do rations if you guys are on a long, treacherous journey, and then we'll account for rations. For now, we'll say, like, every time you guys hit a village or some sort of establishment, you guys just eat. Not necessarily like we have to roleplay it out every time going to the tavern and eating, but like, I'm just assuming you guys are eating anytime you hit a village or city or any sort of like major town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, any location.
Yeah, I got you.
Any locations. But let me bring up. It should be. I'm blanking. Yeah, the Northwestern World. Let me configure permissions and give you all. Observer.
Give me access, DM Poppy.
Yeah, it should be in your maps under the journal entries. But I'll go ahead and bring everybody to that world. Hopefully it loads fairly fast.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
And let me know when everybody's there.
I can see it.
Okay. Raptor, do you see it?
Can't. Nope, not yet.
Okay. He is using up all of his bandwidth to load this map.
Full power.
Can you see that on your screen, Basic?
Yeah, I can see the map.
No, but I mean, like, do you see, like, me,
Okay.
like...
Yeah, it finally loaded.
Do you see...
Oh yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you.
the foot?
I see Nick's
stretching out.
dot.
From Anchorage, you're heading almost off to Kenora Lake there.
Yeah.
Oh, Wilhelm.
Okay. Just want to make sure you see it. So every foot is an hour of travel. So like that's how.
By foot or by like?
I want to say by foot. I want to say yeah, probably by foot, as I think initially what I wanted to do. Do you see the map, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you click the little person icon on the left, yeah, see you doing it. Person icon on the left, and then hit the little ruler thing. You can make these sort of measurements, and essentially every foot is 1 hour of travel
okay.
on foot.
Yeah. Where is Duluth?
Duluth is right off Kenora Lake. It's a kind of a port city.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
But
we should really go.
Oh, I just made a radius. That's not what I was trying to do.
Yeah, you're in not the ruler on the left side. Hit the person, and then hit the ruler.
Oh,
So
I see.
I mean, would it be? There isn't really an effective path from Wilhelm to Duluth, though.
There is. Well, so the way the forest works, you can't really see all the paths, but from Wilhelm, you guys could probably get to like this path fairly easily.
Okay. Because I was thinking that maybe we would be better served by going from up to Miroki to Eldergard and across.
Well, but you can in Wilhelm, you can see if you scroll in really far, you can see some of the pathways that lead through the forest. Like,
It looks like one goes up this way.
Looks like there's one right here.
Essentially, how the forests work is there are set paths, but they're just obscured by the trees. So I was gonna kind of rule it like you just take the most the path that makes the most sense, essentially.
Yeah.
I just say that there's a path there because I'm not too worried about it. So a straight shot from Wilhelm to here would probably be your best bet, and then following the trail down to Duluth. Or
it'll be a couple days.
Yeah, or you can go to Kenora Lake and just follow the lake down. You don't really have to really have to go down like a set path. The horse and carriage, especially.
And this looks like relatively.
It's flat. It's like
land.
it's hilly. You could definitely get through it on a horse and carriage. So you could take a straight shot and take like just a day to get to Duluth rather than fucking go down here.
It's like a day. It's a day to get to Wilhelm, and a little bit over a day to get to Duluth if you account the extra.
We do have the option of taking a boat, which could be quicker, but at the same time, we also have a horse and carriage to worry about.
Yeah.
Have to get a ferry.
From your experience, Orosi, this soul and spirit are kind of think of it like Enterprise for the Thieves Guild.
Yes.
Like you pick up, drop off, fucking. There's a lot of miles on these horses, all right. So the Thieves Guild kind of throughout the villages and stuff use these kind of horses and carriages through many means. So you could drop off in Wilhelm, make the trek on foot to the Kenora Lake, and then possibly find a little boat town or somewhere right here, or someone that would lend you a boat. I don't want to have the impression that there's literally nothing over here.
It's just not big enough to be listed on the map.
Correct. So it's totally possible, but for the sake of the initial leaving Anchorage, what's the first course of action leaving Anchorage?
We are probably going to.
I say we should probably head to Wilhelm.
Yeah, that's probably
That would probably be our best bet. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Wilhelm, we go.
Okay. So, and then we'll figure out the rest, whatever you guys want to do, from Wilhelm when we get there. So, let me just kind of think exactly.
Traveling time.
Damn, bro, I'm really not proficient with my backpack.
You
Sounds
lack
like a problem.
proficiency with carrying. You cannot haul things.
I want to open my
And
backpack.
also just-
All right, go ahead, roll.
Yeah.
You accidentally pour everything out of your
With disadvantage because you're not proficient in it.
It was with disadvantage. Oh, you thought that was a backpack? Yeah, that is a bag of devouring, my friend. Sorry, you just.
Oh yeah, your hand's gone.
Yeah, your hand's gone.
So is all your money.
Yeah. You can no
It
longer
won't let
carry
me
your sword that
reopen.
is a story item. You know.
Your main class item. No, I'm not allowed anymore. I definitely don't. How did I open the backpack that time before? Because it sure isn't letting me now. When I click
You
the
have
little
to
edit
press-
Yeah.
icon, it doesn't do anything.
What do you mean? You
I
must
have
have it already
issues with my
open.
backpack.
It must be behind other things.
Yeah, it could be behind
sure-
everything.
I've been looking. I don't see it anywhere.
Click out of all the little things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You could, escape, reload application.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
works
do
a lot of the time. So you have your continental map, and your course of action is to head to Wilhelm. Is there anything else that you like to do in the city before you leave? Again, before we get there.
Now, Ryan, with my in-depth knowledge on the prices of things in this type of area, how much would a small cask of root brew cost?
A small cask.
Yeah, just like a small little barrel. You know, just like a few gallons.
Probably, I want to say in the 10 to 15 gold range.
Okay, maybe another time.
And how much would a tent cost?
A
You should already
tent?
have one.
You might already, you might already have one.
I might already have one. You might be right.
If you don't,
Although it's not listed in my inventory.
yeah, go
You have
ahead.
to open the backpack.
I
Yeah,
don't have a way of opening my backpack. All the things are inside the backpack are
Yes,
not.
you do. Click the edit button. It should all be listed there.
There's nothing in his backpack. You have a bedroll.
I do have a bedroll.
If you wanted a tent, just go ahead and add a tent. Yeah, you've traveled a lot, so
Yeah.
it makes sense for you to have a tent. Anything else? Last saves from people? As you're this is as you're walking through to the stable.
Yeah, no, I just gotta add the tent too. That's about it.
Okay.
Eldor doesn't use a tent.
The mob good nature.
Yeah. What am I supposed
Sleep
to be
on
afraid
sticks
of?
and stones.
The bugs?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah, you guys are making
Where do
you're making your way there. I'm just giving like a little bit of time just in case anybody. I know Nick, you're still kind of wrestling with.
Yeah, I just don't know where to add the tent from.
So go to hit Control and then space. Like hold Control and hit space.
That's what it was. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it'll bring up the everything bar and you can just tent or whatever. Which if you guys want a tent, just go ahead and add a tent minus your bedroll. If like you don't want the bedroll, like that's fine. I don't.
What the? Okay, I typed in tent and it just pulled up every item that has the letters T, E, N, and T in them.
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think.
Parentheses around. You have
In
to
the- in
put
the system.
quotation marks around it.
Oh, do you?
I think.
Yeah, that works. If you start with
No, it sure did just bring up. Is it 2-person tent? You get a 1-person.
You can
tent?
just modify it. You know, like if there's not actually like oh you want a 4-man tent. There's not necessarily that item in the game, but you can just add them. Like edit it.
well,
Everyone enjoying the cattail.
love me some
Jeez.
cattail, dude.
Reminds me of hot dogs, but less sanitary.
Okay.
Corn dogs, I should say.
So, Orosi, do you want to, in the essence of you guys making your way there, I know you are not really familiar with the rest of the party, but is there anything that you want to like ask, or actually, let's just start with like describing your character
Yes.
as they see
Yeah,
you.
we should all do that.
So the unfortunate thing is that I'm not seeing my character's height or weight. It did not get transferred from D&D Beyond, I don't think. So, oh wait, no, there it is. Appearance. All right. So he's a 6'8", yellowish gold dragonborn. He's about 24 years old.
Where's
and
that
he
part at?
That's gonna be in biography under appearance, the top left.
Ah.
And he weighs about 360 pounds.
Yeah, and like if you want to like look in the appearance and everything, that's cool. Just please don't read the backstory. just for like RP purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Metagaming.
Yeah, I was looking around at other people's character sheets, just like, okay, so that's his token or whatever. I click a biography, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I just
Uh.
presume that I trust everybody to kind of like role play and everything.
Yeah.
But okay,
Just wanna
he's
put it in my
he's
backpack.
6'8", goldish dragonborn. Is there anything?
He is wearing chainmail armor, and he does do spear and shield for
Oh,
combat.
nice. That's pretty neat.
Gladiator
A lot of people
ass
do
bitch.
spears.
More people should use spears. Spears best weapon. My name's Iljor. Hi, Iljor. Welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, this root brew.
I'm a,
Yes, honestly.
I'm a Fearbolt, which is a giant kin race, so I'm a pretty hefty-sized guy. I'm 7'2", and I weigh about 300. 300 actually feels light. 7. No, well,
You would
300 's
probably
fine.
be if you
300
probably be
feels about right,
300.
probably. Yeah, my hair is like a light brown, sort of like tree bark, like a more pale like tree bark sort of color.
Yes.
My skin's like a pale gray, sort of like a stone type color, and my eyes are just big little flecks of obsidian.
Uh,
And I'm wearing just like a light leather armor with a scimitar on my hip. And you can see hanging from my neck is a small charred branch.
So my character, I think I only introduced him as Neron to you. I didn't use his full name, but
Yes.
he wears leather armor, of course, a drow. Most of the time I've got my like hood up on my cloak and everything. It's just how I am. I carry a longsword on my hip. It's a very unique style of longsword. Like, you can't see the blade, of course, right now, but in the sheath it's got it's in its sheath right now, but on the handle on the outside you can see it's got like bone inlaid in the handle and in the cross guard and all that. Other than that, I'm a drow. I do have the like bright red eyes, that kind of like pale dark like blue gray skin, with, I mean, pretty much like my picture shows there. I've got my hair kind of swept back on the top just out of my face, but it still stays long there. As far
What's
as
your
like my
haircut?
build, I'm 6, yeah, kinda. I think I'm 6 foot even. Not super heavy. I'm like, I'm maybe 200 pounds. I think I don't see my fucking. There it is. Yeah,
Scroll down.
yeah. 180. So I'm not super big, but I'm not super tiny either. But yeah, that pretty much describes him. As far as my armor goes, it is like a darker leather color, and it's got I've got a straps with a few knives on my chest. I do have a quarterstaff that I carry on my back, and I would use it during like walking and shit. Typical wizard shit. Yeah, that's about it.
I
for him.
suppose you should know Arosi's full name. It's Arosi Rogar of Clan Arosi. And
Your
yeah,
clan title is your first name?
yes, wears that as a badge of honor. Also, he only has the one name aside from Arosi. So
Would they know about your tribe through any sort of means or anything? Were they
it's
famous
one
for anything?
It's not necessarily famous for anything. It's just one of several tribes, several Dragonborn tribes.
Okay. So like they would at least heard of like they've heard of
they-
like Dragonborn tribes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If that is all the party wishes to release to one another, we'll have you continue on. Arosi leading the way to the stable keep in the northern part of the city where Ernest Pryor's horses are, and where you guys will begin your journey through the Silverdale to Wilhelm.
I pick up an apple on the way to the carriage and give it to the horse, or one of them. Actually, since I know there's two
One of
horses,
them.
I pick up 2 apples.
Okay. There's like farmers markets, kind of like selling street fruit, essentially. Very quick transaction between you and a very small gnomish woman. Pick up a couple apples.
How much?
Probably like a few copper, but don't even worry about it.
Okay.
You throw her a couple copper and pick up the apples and continue on your way very, very quickly. The trek is probably around 25 minutes as you, as like I said before, the northern part of the city is very this kind of like, I don't want to say slum-ish, but not as bright and vibrant as the more downtown part of the city. And right now it's probably heading towards maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, cat can.
Such a demon.
Yeah, probably like around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Going to the stable keep. You're met with a.
Go away, dude. Leave me alone.
No. Sit on his lap.
You won't.
Coming upon the stables there, housing quite a few horses and carriages. You're met with a very tiny human female redhead that you are aware of, Arosi. You know her as Ginny, and she kind of runs the stables here in the northern part of town. As you see her kind of tightening the reins on a horse that had just came into town, as there is like very few people kind of peppering around, like going in and out of their carriages and like venturing off into the city.
Hi, Ginny.
Oh, Rosie, it's good to see you. Are you
Good to
heading
see
out
you.
again?
Yes, Ernest sent me. I'm looking for I forget the names of the horses. Spirit and
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah, she knows. Just give me one quick second as she finishes tightening the reins, and goes over to her little log book and basically logs that Spirit and Soul are now departing. She kind of is walking a certain direction away from the rest of the horses as you're finally met with the appearance of these 2 horses, one being sort of a dark brown, the other being sort of a very kind of like light blackish, if that makes any sense. This carriage, she walks upon, tightening the reins on these horses and kind of getting everything set up to depart, taking the blocks out from behind the wheels, and yeah, once she finishes up, she says, "Well, looks like you're all on your way. Hopefully, see you soon."
Hey,
And he drops
Arosi.
a couple gold into her hand.
Oh, thank you very much. She kind of puts it away as this sort of token of appreciation is she like greatly appreciates any sort of tips, being that she doesn't work for very high wages. But anyways,
Hey, Arosi. Which one's spirit and which one's soul?
And he points vaguely. Is like that one's spirit and that one's soul.
very
Works
well,
between the 2 of them.
very well. Arosi, if you really want to know, Soul is the black one, Spirit is the brown one. But nevertheless, this horse. Sorry, go ahead, Rap.
I want to feed them the apples.
Okay, yeah. They sort of are a little bit hesitant with new people, but
Animal handling check.
you know what? Go ahead and roll. Maybe they don't like. What kind of apples did you get them? Did you get them red apples or green apples?
Red.
All right.
No, it's not very good.
Ooh, they enjoy the apples, but they're not devouring them or anything. They might have been fed recently, but a little treat helps.
That's fair.
Um,
We'll get to know each other hopefully over the ride.
yeah, they seem very hesitant at first, but they recognize Arosi. Horses are very smart creatures. They kind of trust the people that they trust, and then the people around them. So, but getting back to the actual carriage portion, it's not so much of like a carriage. It's more like a very rudimentary cart. There's no overhead canopy. It could probably seat 4 5 people, including the driver. So it's fairly
This is
small.
Skyrim prison cart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You guys
That's
just
what
woke
I was
up. And
thinking.
you guys are going to fucking
Yeah.
what was it? Helgen. or
Helgen.
whatever.
Yeah. We're finally awake.
Yeah. But there's just a small sack of horse feed that will probably last you. Actually, it will last you till Wilhelm and maybe a little bit more. So, and with the Thieves Guild, I mean, we're just going to assume that you guys can get more feed like whenever you hit a stop. Essentially, they're replenished. But yeah, you guys step in the cart. Who's driving?
I'll
I don't
be
think it's
driving.
gonna be. Let me see what my animal handle is.
Probably not higher than Raptors, but
I would assume not. No, I don't even have
It
it.
might be better for the druid to drive.
Why don't I give it a shot? Maybe
Is
me,
that familiar with
spirit,
the
and
horse?
soul get along after all.
go ahead. For
I
RP purposes,
just-
let's make an animal handling check, and that'll determine how fast you guys go.
Alright, I'll
I'm
go
just gonna
ahead.
hop in the back.
Do I
and
get
start-
advantage for the apples that I gave them?
I will say yes.
Hey, that's the exact same double roll that someone else rolled earlier.
Decent. Okay, yeah, with a 15, it doesn't take much, but you can make a very, very good steady pace. Like you guys estimated probably like around a day to Wilhelm. You would definitely make it in that time frame. We'll say if nonstop, well, you guys would actually want to rest since it's
Yeah.
1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Not the most comfortable ride either.
No, but we'll say you guys drive like 8 hours. You could probably make it to the Dowrick by the end of the by nightfall, but by like when the sun is going down, like there's still light outside. So
Dusk.
yeah, yeah, you guys could probably make it to the Dowrick by the end of the day.
Okay.
But suiting up, getting the cart ready, and Iljor manning the reins, you depart from Anchorage out of the city gates, leaving the vastness of the city behind you. And just leaving the city on this cart is looking back, you just see this monstrous kind of towering city behind you. A sight that you guys have, obviously seen before, but it nevertheless never becomes tiring of like watching the city of Anchorage, even leaving it. Just you see the towers, the flags, the Silverdell in front of you, and yeah. So the clouds above are starting to get a little dark, but you guys make it to the Dowrick at about 8:30. The day has slowly come to an end as dusk sets upon you guys, and most of the journey so far has been smooth sailing, to say the least. Various little things on the side of the road,
Do I
little
see anything
encounters.
interesting in the woods that I can point out to them that I'm familiar with since I know the area?
Make a perception check. 19. On the trek to Wilhelm, about 3 or so hours out of Anchorage, going down the pathway, you come upon this area that you're seemingly sort of familiar with. Whether that be like the way the path is made or the certain species of trees that are around you that jogs your memory, you're not quite sure. But traveling for another minute or so, you quickly realize as you look upon this old, ancient tree about 20 to 30 feet from the path, and you recognize that to be a carcass, a body of a now passed on treant
Poor guy.
by the name of
I'm coming up with tree names off the top of the dome.
Dingle McCringleberry.
Treebeard.
Yeah. Treant by the name of Pine Door. He was several hundred years old, and with your knowledge, Treants are very lucky to live that long. They've seen a lot. And in your experience, when a Treant gets old and has to pass on to the afterlife, they essentially find a place that they're comfortable with and sort of turn back
Their
into
roots
their
down
roots.
for the last time.
They lay their roots down for the last time, and they become a normal tree. And the tree stands for several decades before it succumbs to, regular tree lifespan, I guess.
Is the tree looking?
It's looking decent. You have not seen it in quite some time, at least a few years. Maybe even at least like 5 or 6 years since you've seen it. But it's still got probably another decade until it might fall to the ground. But
And we stop for a second, guys. There's a very important tree here that I need to say hello to.
A tree.
A tree, you say?
It's one that used to move. True being of the forest, this one, he's a treant. Or was anyway. He passed several years ago. Come on, I'll show you.
as Ildjor has now stopped the cart. No matter what anybody else says, the cart has now pulled off to the side. Ildjor has gotten out, and he is walking into the forest.
I'll stick near Ildjor. I want to make sure he doesn't get... nothing happens to him,
I'll stand guard near the cart.
Worried about protecting a druid in the forest. How silly.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll be fine.
So, go ahead, Raptor.
I walk up to the tree. Very impressive canopy that it's got.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the bark itself is darker than the rest of the trees around it. And as you look up, it's still giving life to like the leaves around it. It's still very much a tree that's alive. But yeah, looking up over the canopy, you can see streaks of the sunlight peering down into it, and it just has this very positive energy. Everybody can kind of feel it, but it impacts you a lot more, Ildjor, just because of your connectedness with the Silverdoe.
I just rest my hand on the bark of the tree, and I used my ability to speak with plants and small creatures, and just say, like, thank you for your service to the forest.
And as you communicate that with this very large tree, your hand resting upon the bark, you look up and you can see the swaying of the branches as something of an object is lightly kind of falling down like a feather.
Oh,
And as it comes upon you, you lift your hand out and you can see this leaf sort of slowly fall into the palm of your hand. Looking upon the leaf, it's sort of a mixture of a dark brown, very light green, and within a mere probably 5 seconds or so, the brownness of the leaf just transforms into this very vibrant green, as you take that to be some sort of communication of, like, I'm doing well. It's nourishing in this environment, and flourishing, nourishing. Like, yeah, you're right.
I take out the Tome of Talon's Fall out of my bag, and I flip it open to the first page. When you see me take the book out, Anarion, it's a large tome. Tell it's very old. The surface of the book almost looks like bark, like a very soft bark type texture. And I fold it open and I put the leaf in the first page of the book, and I shut it.
Okay. with that, is there anything else you'd like to do? Everybody else kind of standing around watching Iljor have this moment with the tree.
I'm just observing, keeping an eye out on everything.
All right, let's go back on our way.
Okay. Paying respects to an old treant friend.
You said it moved before. What did you mean by that? Do I know about treants? Have I assume I'm not very in tune with nature, so.
You've heard legends of them. Like, it would be up to you if you've seen them or not. They're not necessarily like super rare. I mean, they're kind of.
I'll say probably not. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time in the forest. Most of my time was spent in the city that I was from.
I mean,
so.
I'd imagine most normal people probably wouldn't even know what it was.
Yeah. So I asked that. I said you said it moved before. What do you mean?
This tree was once a treant, a living, basically kind of a embodiment of the forest almost. They help nurture the land around them. Really helps the forest grow strong and live long.
I see. And you said he was your friend.
I knew him. My father knew him too. He was well over 700 years old, I think, before he decided to set his roots down for the last time.
Oh, he's got a few years on me.
That's what happens when these trees, they get old. Sort of picks a spot it likes and settles down for, the last time.
Well, I envy him being able to put his journeys to rest.
Yes.
Let's get moving.
Indeed.
Strange
All right,
nature
Spirit.
folk.
All right, Soul, let's go.
So, gathering back.
I
in the
just hop-
carriage.
Yeah, I just hop back in the back and I pull my spell book out and I just kind of study it idly.
Okay. Getting everything situated, you guys venture out, back on the path towards the Dowrick, and you guys get fairly close to the Dowrick as dusk sets, and you find a very a decent place to set up camp for the night. Let me go ahead and change the scene to a more of like a forest campfire vibe. I kind of want to use these animated images to kind of show a very broad scenery sort of thing. So like if I show
just set
you
the tone.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like any specific place. Like, it could be,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I want to, like, reuse these. So, for instance, this forest campfire scene, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me make sure the lighting is
I
correct.
do not see it. I'm assuming this is through one of the modules.
No, it's literally like a scene.
Mm.
I'm just seeing gray.
Yeah, it's just flat gray.
Yeah.
Let me.
We'll get the kinks worked out. It'll be great.
It'll be glorious.
Oh.
Yeah, I subscribe to this dude's Patreon. He's got he does animated images, and he uploads like all the time. So
That's pretty
really,
helpful.
Really cool. Okay, I don't know if you guys see that now. It's coming up for me.
It did
There
now.
we go.
Okay. You fucks.
Oh. It was an accident. I was just trying to center it. Just. How far is it? There it is, 38 feet.
Yeah. So like back what I was saying, like if when you guys set up camp, whatever, I'll probably throw this up, and like I got ones for the inn and tavern, so like you might see like things being reused, but essentially just like to show you guys are camping, to show you guys are here, blah blah blah. But yeah, these little things are really cool. But
Theater of the mind settings.
yeah, exactly. I got a folder literally called Theater of the Mind where all these are in. So, let us kind of throw on this little.
It's perfect because we are camping next to a lake. Or river. body of water that is
Or
moving.
we are camping next to a running lake.
A running lake, yes.
Yeah, well, like I said, like this doesn't necessarily mean like this is where you guys are camping. If you guys want to like set up camp next to like a little creek or like running water, we could just say that you guys do. But like for the purposes of like you guys just camping, just throw the image up.
It's a
you guys
screensaver.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Saying in this case, it's perfect because we're camping next to the Dalric.
No, this isn't the Dalric. This is not the Dalric.
Dalric
The
would be much
Dalric
larger
is
than it.
the Dalric is probably a quarter mile or more across.
Oh, okay.
This is just like a little creek that you found near the Dalric. I just
Oh,
want to, I just want to clarify that.
I figured as much.
Yeah. But yeah, so the day goes by fairly, but besides that small little encounter for the most part, very peaceful throughout the forest. Nothing sort of obstructing your guys' way or any sort of encounters that would endanger the lives of yourselves or the horses. It gets to be probably like around, like I said, 8:30. It's getting pretty dark. You guys decide to set up camp in this particular part. We could say, yeah, by running water. Is there anything you guys would like to do before getting ready for bed and kind of like, in this setting currently?
Although I technically don't have the ability, Ryan, I was wondering if I could take the leaf out of my book and see if I could just use a little touch of my druid magic to loop the stem of the leaf and put it onto the necklace that's holding my druidic focus.
Okay. So essentially, you're just adding it to like your necklaces.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like
It's this charm
use a little bit
necklace.
of magic to get the stem to bend right so it securely attaches to the necklace.
Okay. Is that a cantrip or something you're using? Or no, it's like your class ability, right?
I mean, technically not, but I'm just like
He's just doing flavor shit.
druid magic.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to make sure because like I would just rule it as flavor shit. I didn't know if you're actually like doing anything.
No, flavor shit.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Fairly easily, you're able to kind of maneuver portions of the leaf to your needs, adding it to your necklace. But yeah, as the hours pass, kind of cooking over the fire, enjoying some. Well, I mean, they're rations, so they're not particularly great, but they taste all right. Enjoying the nightlife of locusts, crickets, and the occasional hooting of an owl in the background. There we go.
Something that I'd like Anarion to kind of do before he just as his like nightly ritual, at the end of the night before he goes to bed or whatever, he to himself just kind of says aloud the names of his fallen comrades.
Okay. As just like a reminder.
Just like a remembrance. Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to keep their memory alive in a way, and he won't forget their names if he repeats them every day,
Okay. I like that a lot. This is something you do like in your tent before you lay your head down.
Yeah, right before I go to bed. I mean, even if it's like just at the campfire, I don't necessarily do it around other people. Like I'm not hiding it so that other people don't hear it, but I'm not trying to make a scene out of it or anything,
Okay. Then with that, as the hours pass, if there's nothing else anybody would like to do with the group or within the forest, we're gonna go ahead and say you guys setting up your tents, finishing your meals, putting out the fire to the best of your abilities, letting the coals die out in the cold of the night, laying your head down to rest. Sleep. Are you muted, Basic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, never mind. I thought I saw you speak and then like nothing came out. I was just making sure. Sorry, my bad. But anyways, sleep finds you all fairly quickly as you drift off. Anarion.
Yes.
as you lay your head down after your ritual, the cackling of the coals can be heard slowly dying as the nocturnal life begin to prosper and take over the night. Just before you're able to drift off, a familiar voice creeps up your spine and into your brain. You all of a sudden have this sort of instinctual urge to just open your eyes. Just like snap open your eyes. And in the darkness of the tent, the moonlight kind of peering through, your sword lying by your side. You hear this voice in your head. A sight we have not seen for quite some time. An Aryan traveling with others?
I don't like it myself. Attachments don't usually end well for me, but they could be useful.
What they search for has no end. They will be spending years disseminating that talisman.
Do you know something more that you have not spoken?
Several seconds goes by. No response.
Well, then if you're not going to help me, I'm going to continue trying to figure out how it might be able to help me.
As this this feeling, this sort of intruding presence within your head slowly fades away, leaves your body not, I don't want to say numb, but more like a tingling, as if it's just went through a process. Still no response from the sword, as in your time, this sword will talk to you every now and then. Its responses are short and sweet, and the actual communication with it is sort of few and far in between. It's a very ominous feeling, and you're still, even though so many years had passed, you're still finding more about its intentions and its power over you and the world around it. But
I don't think it's so. As far as the time frame goes, since I acquired it, I don't think I don't think it's been a year yet, because I think I said that all those incidents happened at my 87th year, and I think I'm still 87. So I think it's a fairly recent.
I thought it was at your 80th year.
Oh, it was 80. You're right. It was 80, and then so about 7 years. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, so all of that happening
You're right.
within the time frame that you're aware of.
Okay.
But yeah, so as that process has came and gone, you're finding it hard to sleep a little bit for the next couple hours. But as a drow, do you meditate? I'm just curious. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's like normal elves.
Okay. So you it just takes you some time to kind of shake that presence off in your mind before you do your meditation / sleep for the night. But as the night goes by fairly quickly, you awaken in the early morning hours of the next day.
Okay.
Fairly early. The sun has just crested the tree line, not the tree line, the horizon. As you can see it kind of peering through the trees. We'll go back to the Silver Dell. Now, is there anybody, or what does everybody wish to do in this early morning?
I just get up, start packing my tent up. I get right to it. I'm ready to move.
Okay.
Rosie starts packing up his stuff as well, and he looks at Anera and is like, "Hey, is that I heard you last night? Calling out for those names?"
It's more than that. I'm not calling out for names. I'm just reciting them.
I see.
You're a
Assuming
warrior. I'm sure you understand loss in battle.
I know that pain far too well. Rosie bows his head and gets back to his work.
I give him a nod right back.
What?
I'm assuming as I wake up, Ryan, there's probably a squirrel sleeping on me or something.
Do you want there to be a squirrel sleeping? I mean, you have a tent, right? So you're sleeping within a tent.
No, I'm not using a tent.
No,
Okay.
you don't use a tent.
Okay.
I'm not druid in a forest, my man. I'm
I
just
figured-
laying on the ground.
Hey, look, I figured I'm not. I was just curious.
Fucking hippies.
But yeah, animals are genuinely not that afraid of you. Deers, squirrels, birds will kind of.
Roll up.
Yeah, just roll up, dude. Just roll up, chill. But yeah, we'll say when you wake up, there is some scurrying of sorts around your feet. As you move, though, they scurry back into the bushes. Not quite sure exactly what they were. As Anarian and Iljor, though you thought this last night, waking up in the morning and seeing Iljor just lying on this what looks like the most uncomfortable patch of ground, is just waking up with the brightest sort of mood of he just had a great night's sleep.
Yeah.
You see, there was this nice patch of moss right there. Made a great pillow.
You eat it and you lay on top of it.
Yeah.
No, it's a different kind of moss.
Oh, okay.
This is pillow moss.
Yeah, pillow
This
moss.
is pillow moss.
This ain't food moss.
What's the moss that you wipe your ass with?
Anyways,
Yeah, that moss is hard to find. Usually I use leaves.
Iljor wipes his ass with bark.
He's
It's
just
a
hardcore like
nice
that.
crispy texture on my ass.
He's just Ildor's just hardcore like that.
So, if there is not anything else you guys would like to do, spellcasters prepare their spells for the day. You guys have a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of some fruit, and some dried, or should I say dried fruit from the rations portion. Getting a little bit of energy.
Try this moss. I take out a little bundle of moss out of my backpack. Trust me. I know you're probably thinking I'm being a weird druid guy. Okay, but just try the moss. Trust me. Can I make a persuasion check?
You can make a persuasion check, but it's ultimately up to the character if they want to try it. But we'll say for the sake of the roll, it's how well you kind of
Sell
sell this idea of eating moss.
I'm not interested in whatever it is that you have in your hand there.
It's moss. I
already
just
ate.
said that.
Yes.
I'm telling you to put it on the fruit.
I've already
On it.
eaten. I apologize.
Okay.
Erosi finishes his last bite.
I take a little pinch of the moss and I sprinkle it on my fruit.
Okay. Yeah, you were unfortunately able to get these very normal people to eat moss, but you tried.
You're not even real forest people, man.
Goddamn city folk.
Yeah, you slickers.
As you've had your small breakfast, gathering your things, breaking down the tent, kind of scattering the ashes of the campfire.
Now I do use druidcraft to sort of mix the dirt around and make it, make everything nice and flat
Okay,
and the way it was.
gotcha. Yeah, you take a couple minutes to recreate the land as it once was before you came, kind of restoring the area to what it was before. Feeding the horses for the morning, packing up everything, and even through the night, you don't really see much like livelihood among the roads so far, at least. But yeah, for the sake of time, can we say that you guys kind of packed up, got ready, got in the carriage,
Yep.
and continued?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's cool with me.
Okay.
The tree hugger is strange, but he has his uses.
Hey, I could hear that.
I never intended for you to not hear it.
That's fair, I suppose.
Making your way, you're probably maybe a couple miles from the Dowrick. It's about 8 or so in the morning, 8 or 9. Slept in a little bit. Passing through the forests, coming upon the Dowrick, this immense river that sort of runs through the entire continent, which breaks up the countries of Burecrest and Falkirk, and even a little bit of Caldera. The Dowrick being sort of like a quarter mile across. It's a fairly large river, and the bridge that goes over the Dowrick is well traveled. The stone, as you roll over it, it's seemingly very different, possibly dwarvish in architecture, but it's pretty smooth sailing over the bridge as it takes you a few minutes to cross. Just water kind of you hear just smacking into the bridge and kind of rushing underneath. I mean, saying it's a mighty river is an understatement. But moving on past the Dowrick, venturing into the forests. How far? Let me check the map real quick and see exactly.
It won't pull up when I try to do the little one. Probably because it's a 16K image.
Yeah, I have to check the big one. You guys.
Your little window's having trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Discord too. If you guys really want to look at it, I can't send.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys see the full map, or when you want to see the full map, I can't send that through Discord, and
It's too big.
It's too big. I could put it on Foundry and pull it up for you guys whenever you guys want it, but it would like take over a scene. But anyways, you are probably you're around 16 hours from Wilhelm. So by the end of the day, you estimate you could probably be within 3 or 4 hours. So it would be up to you guys when that time comes to trek through it and make the 16-hour travel and get there really late. Get a few hours of sleep there, or kind of rest up a few hours and then head there. But that's just for your guys' awareness.
I'd vote to be there early in the morning, if feasible.
Yeah, when you guys get closer, I'll bring it up again. But I just,
Yeah.
for like timekeeping purposes, just kind of let you guys know
Yeah.
that you guys won't make it there.
At a
until-
reasonable time.
Yeah, no. If you guys like did a straight shot, you'd probably make it there like 1 or 2 in the morning. But anyways, passing over the Dowrick, a couple hours into your journey, the sounds of the forest kind of emanating from various trees. It's a very familiar sound to you, obviously, Eljor. Very comfortable state, very relaxed state. As soon after you're taking all of this in for the last couple hours, you hear this giant rush of air and this what sounds like brush being like, how do I describe this? Like a giant rush of air through like bushes, essentially, like trees like moving and shit,
Rustling.
rustling, like not just bushes, trees.
Yeah.
Continuing along the path, probably around 30 or 40 feet in front of you, you see this gargantuan tree pass over the path. And for you, it's a sight you've seen before. However, for Anarian and possibly a Rosie, this is the first time seeing a live treant.
I
I
look
do-
back at him.
Just
and I'm like, that's
because of
what I
my
meant."
because of my innate magical curiosity, I'll observe him as he
That thing
is in view.
Okay.
is massive.
Yes, it's absolutely massive. And making your way down the path, the treant just kind of like stops along the side of the road and is just watching you. As you can see, as I've described to Ildra before, but I'll describe to you for the first time, these beings, though you weren't aware of it at first, but coming upon it and really studying it, you notice the face within the bark of the tree. It has two legs essentially, how it walks, but if you were to just look at, if the treant was sitting still, you wouldn't know it was a treant, even though that its face is there. You kind of have to have the knowledge that it is a treant to even dissect the face within the bark. And this thing passing through, you guys didn't even notice it yet. It kind of just manifested itself through the forest and came upon you very quickly, even though it is massive.
Yeah.
But as the carriage moves on, you're probably about 10 feet in front of it as the treant just stops and just kind of looks at you. And you don't recognize this treant, this particular one, Ildjor. But he's just observing as you guys are observing him. Hello.
See, this is the thing where the tree used to move that I was telling you about.
As he kind of disseminates everybody. And from your experiences, Ildjor, he's just kind of saying if you guys are a threat, which doesn't appear to be. He turns around and continues.
I just said, we passed. What was the tree's name earlier? I forgot.
Pine Door. Pine Door.
We passed Pine Door a while back. He was a good one. You stay safe.
And he's just continuing along into the trees. In another part I described to Ildjor, as you guys watch this tree kind of fade away into the forest, it doesn't appear to be like he almost fades into the forest. It's not like you're like watching him go for very long. He kind of weaves his way back into the forest, and it's a very odd sight. Though Ildjor is pretty well versed in watching this, but like it's kind of weird. It's just he just becomes one with the
Hard to
forest
track
again.
in the forest.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you two have heard legends of treants throughout the lands. That was your first kind of interaction with one, but nevertheless, you guys continue trekking on, peering at various roadside stone. I don't want to say relics, but like different markings along the way. It gets around
Roadside attractions.
Yeah. Oh, not really roadside attractions. Just
Well,
different interesting
yeah.
things along the side of the road that people have left.
Just landmarks and shit.
Yeah.
Like stone cairns and things.
And as you're moving along, a couple more hours goes by, and it's around noon. You're able to still trek on, eating lunch. I want Ildjor to make a perception check really quick.
Okay. Wow, damn, man, the rolls rolls have not been good today, which is wild considering the first roll of the campaign was a natural 20, by the way, which you guys didn't know.
Oh yeah, the very first roll of the campaign was a nat 20.
Wasted all of our luck there.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to see it. Anarian and Orosi, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anarian, as the music of the forest is playing, birds, animals, different wildlife, you hear the sounds of like what sounds like a gnarling, like a grunting, and a profuse usage of like a nasally huffing, essentially.
But where do I hear it coming from?
Like sort of down the path.
Okay.
As you, with your keen senses, are able to spot roughly 80 or so feet in front of you. As you look at Iljor, is kind of like gazing upon the trees and the wildlife, not necessarily kind of being on autopilot. You notice a large figure, not humanoid, but like just a large sort of four-legged creature standing in the road.
Okay. So as I notice this, I kind of hear it, slam my book shut, and peek up over the driver's seat to see it, and I'll just give Iljor a fucking like smack on the back of the head, and then point directly ahead.
What is it?
Look, I don't know.
As you stroll probably another 10 or 20 feet, this silhouette of a creature is now sharpening into an image of a very large bear or owlbear of sorts, feasting on the carcass of something. And in your travels, Orosi especially, and Iljor specifically, owlbears are not... They are almost born aggressive. It poses a danger for sure to not just yourselves, but to the horses, because owlbears, though they are just beasts, they are very smart, and they know that these horses carry you to where you need to go, and they will attack the horses first and then feast on you later.
So as I call attention to it and he notices it, do you have any ideas, Nature Man? Anything you can do with it?
Oh. No, there ain't really much you can do to trick an owlbear, man. We gotta fight it.
So the moment he says, we gotta fight it, I'm gonna draw my blade.
Okay.
How far away is it?
Right now, it's probably 70 or 80 feet.
I'm gonna slap him with an Eldritch Blast.
Orosi, noticing the large figure stands up in the cart, starts putting on his shield quickly.
Okay.
And he grabs his spear.
And Orosi, as you have trekked through the forest yourself, through these paths, and have kind of went back and forth with your dealings with the organizations you familiarize yourself with, a fully grown owlbear is tough. And essentially it's kind of in the best interest of the party to kind of let you have a swing at it, essentially. You're a pretty tanky dragonborn, and the rest of the party kind of realizes this too, that maybe without Orosi, you don't really take it on. You try to find another means, another path, but with 3 people, it's very possible to take down a fully grown owlbear. But do you wish to? You're in control of the cart, Iljor. How far do you want to
Yeah,
get
I'm
close to it
gonna
before you stop?
Oh,
The
sorry.
fuck was that?
That was a war horn. That was a war horn. The
I'm gonna
owlbear is
stop.
playing a war horn, guys.
I'm gonna stop the cart now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's already blasted it with the Eldritch Blast.
Well,
Yeah,
he hasn't done it yet, I presume.
I haven't. But I
Oh.
am
As
gonna
the cart
cast it.
stops, Orosi hops off the side of it and gets himself prepared to defend the horses.
I do. So once he hops off and the cart is stopped, I'm gonna I basically just kind of make a slash in the air with my sword, and then the Eldritch Blast kind of flies off the tip of it.
Okay. Let me bring you boys to this.
To battle!
It's a very rudimentary. See how far you guys are from it.
60 feet.
We'll move you.
That's
move you guys.
fine. I can hit this motherfucker even if he was 300 feet.
Oh yeah. Move you guys back.
Oh, that poor fox. He got jabodied.
Art, I don't know.
F.
F.
Yeah, you're about this far away from it.
Okay.
As you sling your Eldritch Blast from the end of your blade, with a very swift motion, go ahead and roll.
18, 23.
Yeah, absolutely. 18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
6 damage.
6 damage as you see this beam of energy fling out from Anarion's sword. As you see it travel, kind of the sound protruding from the end of the sword and kind of radiating off the trees as this beam of energy just soars through the air, direct, no drop or anything, just directly into the side of the owlbear. You see the owlbear kind of maneuver a little bit, almost being taken aback from the side, as he turns and looks. And I'm gonna put you all in a combat scenario as soon as I get the battle music up. Sorry if that was loud.
Only for rap.
Yeah, only for rap.
No, I have my shit turned down. I'm Gucci.
Toggle combat state.
On!
Wait, that didn't do it for everybody.
Guys, there
More
seems to
time.
be a grimoire in the bottom right corner of the map. Advertising. Branding.
I gotta go pick it
what
up.
have you.
Patreon.com/Dice Grimorium. How did you fail to put us all in a combat state, right?
I don't know. Like I've done this before. Okay.
There you go.
So you get the surprise. Let me go ahead and roll all of your initiatives.
Someone rolled a 1.
Oof.
Oh,
That might have been
I wonder who
Iljor.
it was.
It might have been Iljor. It was
shit.
Iljor.
It was a 1.
I lost all the luck with the natural 20 in the first roll.
So,
Oh, he's coming. Oh lord, he coming.
Oh
Oh,
Lord,
Lord,
he
he
come.
Oh,
coming.
lordy coming.
and yeah, you could see him just charging down this path, this huffing, breathing heavily out of its nose as you see blood kind of caking the front of its beak and around the mouth of its face. Yeah, it's aggressive and it is angry and it is moving towards you at an alarming rate.
It's a hungry boy.
Alrighty then, Erosi's turn. Let's see here. So this is about 40 feet. So Erosi's gonna just take... This is not the tool I want to use. This is the tool I want to use. He's gonna take a 5-foot step forward, and he's just gonna simply just hold on to his spear and shield to just brace for impact.
Okay. Anarian.
Alright. So he's just readying or holding an action, basically?
Orosi is correct.
Orosi,
Yes.
okay. Fuck, there we go. Well, that shit wouldn't get out of my way. So I'm just gonna... I don't want to sling it, like, I don't want to take the risk of hitting one of my, my friends, my allies, so I'm gonna... Oh yeah, I move with the keys, don't I? I'm gonna move there, and then I'm gonna cast it right in front of Eldjor there.
Guessing what?
I'm gonna cast, another Eldritch Blast, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me... hit him with it. 8! It's a 13.
That, unfortunately, I believe that hits. Actually, go ahead and roll damage.
Ah, get fucked, bitch! 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay.
Do the same thing, you know, most of these spells, you know, that I cast are going to be through the sword because it is my arcane focus. So I do another kind of flurry, just another slash, and it, through the tip of the sword, it kind of just launches towards it and hits him.
Gotcha. As you roll up next to Orosi, who's kind of taking a defensive stance, you sling another Eldritch Blast from your sword as this beam of energy just kind of flies right by you, Orosi, directly into the owlbear. As the owlbear kind of braces for the impact of the shot, kind of moving its head away, it hits the body as it is continuing to charge. Eldjor.
I am going to...
Oh, sorry, go
that
ahead.
wasn't all my movement. I'm just going to step back out of the way for Eldjor so I'm not standing in his way.
Okay.
Okay. So I am gonna take 2 steps forward here, and I'll take a step off to the side of the path just so I'm sort of out of the way. And I am going to summon my wildfire sprite right in front of the bear. Or actually, no, I'll summon it to the side over here.
Okay. It's like a little fire elemental, right?
Yes.
I love it. Burn nature.
That's kind of like scuffed, but for purposes. Wait, is it large or no? It's not large.
No, it's a small size class. Here's
There
the
he
stat. Is there a way for you to put a stat block in? I don't know.
Prototype token.
Because I have this. The stat block is here. I just don't know if there's a way for you to actually like incorporate that into the thing that you're making. Like you may be able to summon the creature. Like is that
It might be in one of the. What was it? The control. What?
Control space. I'm typing in fire elemental. Oh, it's a
Spirit.
I almost hit you guys with another Warhorn.
spirit?
Yeah, wildfire spirit, I guess. Yeah, but it's not there.
You said it's small.
Yeah.
That is like tiny. That is like.
Doesn't it, is it one of those, like familiars that levels, or kind of gets better as your class does, or is this just a spell?
No, it's
Like part of your
basically-
class?
Yeah, I can substitute it for my wild shapes
Oh,
and
okay.
summon this instead. So it uses up my wild shape things. Does that do anything if I do this? Here we go. There you go. Usability.
We'll say.
I wish you could make it. I wish it would be easy and you could just like drag and drop a
Yeah,
model.
you normally can. I didn't prepare for the fact that of that ability. I'll have to make a token.
Okay.
But for the sake, we'll put a.
I summoned it here, next to the bear.
Okay.
It has to make a reflex save, a dexterity reflex save. It's only DC 13. I mean, but
Okay.
it's worth it because if it fails, it takes 2d6 damage.
We'll say for the sake, this large fire elemental is your familiar, and then it's like in the top left will be its square essentially for now, and then I'll create a thing for it. So the bear rolls a reflex save
Yes.
or a dexterity save.
Dexterity, yeah.
and I'll roll that for everybody.
Hey,
5. How much damage does
There
it take?
is.
2d6.
2d6. I'll let you,
Fire.
yeah, go ahead and roll. 8.
There it is.
This owlbear's taking some damage actually before it gets to you guys. Bringing it to the owlbear's turn, who is just kind of going to keep charging. And he is just able to get to you, Arosi.
All right.
He was going to 19.
19, that hits.
Dealing 9 points of slashing damage to you as it comes down with its claw, as it just chugs along, just comes with like a giant paw. You can see like this, the paw of this animal is just immensely large. That's going to end its turn.
All right. Rosi, with a spear in hand, he's going to attack with it once. Let's see here. I'm going to look at my abilities just to make sure I'm doing this right.
Okay.
I'm going to do action surge as well to attack twice this turn.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Oh no. Alright then, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a strength. Oh wait, no, that's the roll. Is that the roll button?
Yeah, hit it and then hit attack. Make sure you're targeting. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but you can target the owlbear. as
Yeah.
well.
Double right click the target, don't forget.
Alright then. Inventory. Spear. This does not work out.
Hit the
Oh, there
spear
we
and then
go.
the chat box. Hit attack.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah, you just clicked spear a bunch of times.
I did just click spear a bunch of times. There I am being awkward.
Yeah.
That's the first one, and then now for the second.
Hey, slightly
Nice,
better.
nice. Go ahead and roll damage for that second attack.
Alright.
You're attacking with your it's a spear, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, 9 piercing damage.
9 piercing damage. As you take your spear out and I'm guessing you're just trying to plunge it into this owlbear.
Yes.
Noticing for the first time as it's up close, the blood that not just around its mouth from feasting, but as just all the hits it's taken on the way here. You bloody the owlbear a little bit as your spear sinks into the very tough outer skin of the owlbear, bringing it back out. An Arian.
Alright, so I'm gonna cast Hex on him, which is a bonus action. And basically what it does, here, let me pull it back up real quick.
Okay. That's essentially like favorite enemy,
there you
right?
go.
Sort of.
Yeah, it deals an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target.
Okay.
What disadvantage are you going to give it?
So I'm going to give him disadvantage on any strength check.
Okay.
Just in case I use this other spell later. Well, is your sprite still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'll make it dex. I didn't know if it was still kicking or not.
Any dex saves?
Because I'm probably yeah. And then so that was a bonus action, so I'm gonna move my movement real quick. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is in its threat range, right? It's kind of awkward because it's diagonal. I don't know what box.
Yeah,
I should
it's
be
a
in.
large
it's a large
creature,
size
so
class,
it's
so
5
it's
by
taking
10.
up
It's 10 by
all
10.
four.
Okay. Oh, I see it now when I hover over it. All right,
Yes.
and then I'm just gonna hit it with my regular ass attack.
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
smack him with my sword.
Does that count as flanking too, or does he have to be precisely diagonal?
Yes.
I couldn't go far enough, otherwise I would have. There we go.
Hey!
18,
23 again.
23. Go ahead and roll damage. That absolutely hits.
Situational bonus 1d6 for the necrotic damage.
Dang.
So, oh fuck yeah,
Oh,
8
baby.
8 slashing and 6 necrotic damage.
So minus 17. Damn.
Yeah, get fucked, buddy.
Yeah, as you can see, Anarian kind of come around to your side, Orosi, and just lay this absolute blow as the owlbear is kind of preoccupied with the spear that's in him as you attack. Anarian just kind of has the upper hand in this sort of scenario as his sword comes down and just bloodies this creature even more so than it already is, which brings it to Iljor's turn.
All right.
The wound where I cut kind of starts to deteriorate and like get
Gotcha.
all
Yeah,
all
'cause the
necrosis
necrotic.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how the turn for the sprite works is it takes place after my turn,
Okay.
but it only actually does any action besides dodge if I use up my
Yeah.
bonus action. You can do that
So it basically takes your bonus action?
to make it do things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how most not familiars, but most like companions
Summons.
and like pets and
Yeah.
shit that work in 5e.
Understood.
So first, I'm gonna take a good slash at it with my scimitar here. Oh, great.
Poor rat.
Jesus.
Yeah, poor Raptor. He's
Oh,
not
I'm
very
fucking
good.
cursed, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And
Abs-
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
and I'm using my bonus action to make the sprite do something as well.
Okay. Are you gonna I'm guessing you're moving it to the third range of the bear or the owlbear?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Oh, what are you
It
gonna
has
do?
a ranged attack.
Okay.
It is. So my spell attack modifier. I don't know what is that, Nick? Do you know spell attack modifier? What
I think it's just your ability
proficiency
score.
bonus plus your ability score modifier?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
probably.
Okay. So it's plus.
What is it called? again?
5
I'll look it up just to make sure. But what did you say?
spell
was your
attack bonus.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But you can continue. I'm pretty sure it's just your
So-
ability mod.
Plus proficiency bonus, I think. Is what it is.
Yeah.
But, so I'm rolling to hit it. That's the part that matters here.
Okay.
So
So
that's why I need to
it's
know.
the spell attack bonus plus
That's
whatever
it.
you roll in the
That's the
D20.
bonus to hit. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and just roll a d20 and add that.
Yeah, it's your spell attack modifier. So.
Ah.
And we'll
Fine.
I'll make a character token for your elemental by the next session.
There we go. Jesus Christ.
Oh my
god, dude. I'm so
I
sorry.
keep rolling ones.
I'm so sorry. As-
Well, get him out early, man.
as you
So what the
s-
attack looks like is a small seed of flames builds up at the mouth of this small sprite, and it launches towards the owlbear.
which is what you would have seen if he did not roll in at one. However,
Well, it completely misses. It
Yeah.
completely misses.
Yeah.
But that's what the start of the attack looks like.
as you see Iljor kind of reaching down for his scimitar, staring at the owlbear, not taking much attention or not paying much attention to the actual taking out part of the scimitar, you see him kind of wrestle with it and unable to kind of get it out as the fire elemental spits fire from its mouth and just narrowly misses Orosi going back to behind the trees. Magically, it's a very safe, like it's magical, so it won't like set the trees on fire. But as the magic disperses, and this, I mean, I don't even really know what to say, man. I'm so sorry for these nat
Fuck
ones.
you, video game. Fuck you, video game. Is that 3 in a row? Is that 3 nat
That
ones
was
in a row?
2 nat ones.
I don't know
in a
about
row.
3. I guess if you count your initiative at the beginning, but you had a turn since then.
Anarian, as you absolutely have like gutted
No,
this owlbear.
it was 3
Yeah.
nat one. I've rolled 3 nat ones in a row.
I've absolutely gutted this owlbear. It's going to attempt to attack you, as is now it's so focused, and it just rolled a nat 1. So as it, that's actually 3 nat 1s within the game in a row, which is pretty crazy.
Well, yeah.
Well,
that
4
way.
for you,
That's-
Rab.
Yeah.
Or 3 for you.
As it slowly turns towards you, in this like state of rage, it just had this hit taken to the side, as it, without even paying much attention, just kind of throws its claw over, and you're able to just dodge out of the way very, very quickly. Its sole focus still seems to be you, but Orosi. This owlbear is very bloody, but go ahead with your turn.
So, with its side turned to me,
Mhm.
let's see here. Orosi is going to use his breath weapon. Let's
Okay.
see. Let me go ahead.
I wonder what it is for this color.
It makes
Higher.
a dex save.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a dex save.
Oh, okay, and it gets disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
some
I-
deck saves. Because it's
Nice.
hexed.
And that's the 15-foot cone right there, I'm assuming. That I've placed.
Okay. So roll with disadvantage. That's
Yes,
an 8.
it's a 15-foot cone.
That's
Alright.
that's an 8 on
It
his dex
actually
save.
is only 10.
Actually, if you had pointed it
And then
directly forward,
I'm gonna
it's
roll
actually 15
damage.
feet.
Okay.
It's because of the very specific angle he chose.
I
Okay.
know, I was just joking.
3 damage upon the owlbear.
And I'm gonna use what was it? I'm just gonna use second wind. I could use it once per short rest to regain 1d10 plus 2 HP.
Okay.
I love
Second
fighters,
wind,
man.
yeah.
They're so much fun.
Make sure you click yourself before.
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
might be important.
No, you got it. You're good.
I
Or
got
just
it.
heal
Good.
10. Yeah, just heal 10. Okay. Does that complete your turn?
Yes.
Venarian.
I am gonna slash at him again
Okay.
with my sword.
18
again.
dude.
What
All
the
right.
fuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn,
Roll
I'm
damage.
so-
Venarian is going crazy over here.
I'm so upset.
Let's get that 26 necrotic back in there. Well, that wasn't so great.
Ooh.
It's still
Does
5
it
damage.
What a
survive?
fight this has been, bro.
Yeah.
Does it survive?
It's still alive and
He's
kicking.
kicking.
It's still alive and kicking. It's very bloody. Is
Uh-huh.
anything else you'd like to do this turn?
I am. Let me see what type of action this spell is, real quick,
All right, I'll give you a bit.
and then if I can cast it, I'm gonna cast it. If not, I'm just gonna 5-foot step out of his threat range. It doesn't fucking say anywhere. No, it's a standard action, so I'm just gonna back up. Actually, I'm gonna back up outside of his threat range, and then I'm gonna try to go. So that's 5, 10. Oh well, it's only a 5-foot step. Otherwise, he'll get an attack of opportunity. I'm just
Yes.
gonna 5-foot step. Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
As I kind of like make this slash and back up at the same time.
I am going to slash at him with my scimitar again, boys.
All
Alright,
right,
buddy.
go ahead.
Let's
Beat
go.
the shit out of
This
this
thing like it
owlbear.
should hit.
Should. Oh my god.
Okay, so not a one this time, but you
Oh,
could do.
man. As you
Oh,
look at
geez.
Iljor just fumbling with this scimitar, unable to, just kind of like looking back and forth between the owlbear and his hilt, that can't fucking bring it out. Go ahead and I guess if you're gonna use your bonus action for the fire elemental,
Yes.
have the fire elemental go ahead and make that ranged attack.
Hi, puppy.
+6.
Okay.
Oh, a 19.
19. All
20.
right.
25.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll damage.
And I think the damage. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to hit. I gotta be honest, okay, my man. That uses. I've used 2 uses there. So I'm at 13. It
I'll
does
be back in 2 seconds. I gotta let my dog out.
1d6 plus 2.
6 damage. All right. This owlbear becoming very weak as your fire elemental spits out this flame, much like you all have seen before. This time landing directly in the side of this owlbear as he sort of like moved a little bit, and you could just see the greatness, the vastness that is this creature, able to tank a hit like this. But it is very bloody and very weak, which brings it to the owlbear's turn, which is going to take a 5-foot step towards
I'm back.
Hanarian,
He's gonna hit me, isn't he?
and he's going to attempt to now fully focused attempt to hit you. That is a 17.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like 13.
Dealing 9 points of slashing damage as its claws come down upon you across your armor. Kind of finding the nooks and crannies of your armor with its claws. It is very angry. It is very weak. Rosie.
Orosi takes a 5-foot step to this side to give him an advantage, and he goes to take a swift stab with the spear.
Okay.
There we go. Get that advantage.
Stab him in the butt.
Yes, butt stabbing, if you will. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack with advantage.
Very good.
17.
Very good, very good. Go ahead and roll damage.
Damage. That is 6 damage, sir.
6, absolutely. How would you like to absolutely demolish this
is.
owlbear?
How do you want to do this?
Let's see here.
You see Anarian on the other side of it just kind of slashing with his sword, and the owlbear coming up with his claws as you're effectively flanking it and can just absolutely land a killing blow on this thing.
Orosi, rather than taking that awkward 5-foot step, in my imagination, he's hopping onto the back of the owlbear with spear and ice pick grip, and tries to plunge it into its back while trying to wrestle the thing to the ground.
All right, Anarian, as you have just taken this hit from the owlbear stands up incredibly tall. Not only is this thing vast when it's on all fours, but much like a grizzly bear standing on 2 feet, this thing is towering over you as the shadow kind of casts over your forehead. You look up and you see this silhouette of a dragonborn jumping up and coming down into the spine of the owlbear as essentially Orosi has grappled this thing, stabbed it with a spear, and you can kind of see him finding his balance and leading and bringing his own feet to the ground as the owlbear kind of slowly topples over and slams on the ground next to you as this dragonborn fighter takes the spear out of its back and is now kind of towering over the owlbear as it had towered over you. And that will exit combat.
Spit some blood onto the ground. He got me good. I mean,
roars.
Oh yeah, guys, that was good. Okay, now wait, give me a second. I gotta think of the name for my wildfire spirit.
I'm gonna go run to the bathroom.
Okay.
Blaze.
One second.
I put my sword away and I take a quick breather because that took a good amount out of me when he smacked me.
I can't go with fire. Come on. Imor.
Blaze.
That is his name.
Name it Blaze.
All right, go ahead and send me that
M-O-R.
on Discord. So I got that.
IMMOR.
Let me real quick. Let me use the restroom. Everybody take like a minute break, real quick. I'll be right back.
Yarp.
Narp. Emor, the wildfire spirit.
Oh wow, I did throw a bunch of spears in the chat, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I was like, why isn't this working? And it's like, at 3.5 it was so much easier. I just click a button and it rolls.
Okay. Had to splash some water on my face. Good to go.
Yeah, but you should be able to find like the actual stat block and like make a creature, Ryan.
Yeah, I will.
You should be able to.
I'll look more into it. I should have done this before, but I forgot you had a fire elemental.
Yep. my little dude, Emor.
Uh,
So I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna give me a minute here. I pull out my small knife, and I'm gonna start putting in work on this owl bear corpse.
Okay. You trying to like harvest anything from it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some meat.
Some meat. All right.
I got that survival skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Go
Where's
ahead and
the
roll
wild
that.
feast? Oh, there's the anxiety noises.
Yeah, I'm removing combat timer. Oh my god, dude.
Dude!
Oh.
I'm changing my dice. I'm changing my dice.
You're changing your virtual dice.
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. That's wild. What is
where
that?
the fuck
One
is
one
it?
2 1.
Where the fuck? Where? Oh, and then my hit with the fire. Where the fuck is the dice thing, Ryan? Module settings. Dice so nice. My
Manage
dice
modules.
settings.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Fuck this.
That's crazy. You don't have very good luck with dice. I know in 2E you rolled 3 net ones in a row, and then you just rolled a 1-1-2-1. Man, that's rough. I mean,
those all go public? No, they did not.
so with ability checks, I never take like because of that one you failed. So like, what's your bonus to it?
For what?
What's your survival
Oh,
bonus?
+5.
Okay, so it's 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he rolled another nat 1, Nick, for survival, bro.
How?
Right?
Here, I fixed
Bro, you
the
rolled one
dice.
earlier for perception too. That's like 6 from you in this session.
There we go, boys. It's fixed.
It's yeah.
I rolled a 4.
Yeah. So with a 6 in survival, yeah, it wasn't that one, but there's no critical fails in ability checks. I've never ran it that way, so you're still fairly decent with harvesting some meat.
It's just fucked up. There's a lot of spear holes in this fucking.
Yeah. So the
Fair.
pelt might not be the greatest, but you take probably 10-15 minutes out of your way and harvest some fresh meat, but you don't have really anywhere to store it. So I don't know how.
Well, I have a plan for that, right?
Okay.
He has a plan, he says.
Because it's getting towards time where we're thinking about setting up for lunch, right?
Oh yeah, lunch. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, hey, can somebody bring me some like twigs and stuff?
If you wanted to kind of sit down here and cook up a
Yeah.
little bit of this owlbear
Yeah.
to eat.
If that fire
Yeah,
spirit's
I
still
would.
around, I don't see why we don't just grab logs now.
I know, that's what I'm asking you for. I was gonna use Ilmore to help us, okay? Now I just need the frickin' thing to light on fire.
Yeah, I said I'd start gathering some firewood.
He stays around for an hour, by the way, Ryan.
Oh,
After
okay.
I summon him.
All right.
That's a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
sake
no, it's good.
of role play, I want to say he wouldn't set anything on fire, as far as like trees that he'd run into or like the carriage.
No.
But I feel like that'd be really funny in the future. So let me think a little bit more about how I want to do that, and then
If he teleports, there's a fire AoE, or when I summon him, there's a fire AoE. But just moving around and stuff, he does not do any damage to people around him or anything.
okay.
Play it as druidic fire.
Yeah, like a magical fire. Anarian and Arosi spend not too long of a time gathering various dead twigs and leaves.
We just need to get the fire started. We can add more shit to it afterwards.
Yeah. Creating a small little fire pit off the beaten path, bringing your horses a little bit closer, setting up the fire.
Come here, Emor.
Make a whoever wants to cook it, make a survival check. I don't know if you want
Actually-
Rap to do that.
I still probably should have a +5.
Yeah.
He probably still has the best.
You still have the
it's
best.
Survival. Yeah, I only got +1.
I got none.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey!
Pretty
An
decent.
unnatural 20.
Yeah, pretty decent. As you take the time to salt the meat with through your rations to kind of better the taste of it.
And can I do a? Okay, guys. Now you gotta trust me this time. Okay, I'm cooking it up real good for you. I take out some of the moss.
Okay.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
As you see, uh, Iljor just throwing the moss into this pot, before you could even say anything. At this
I
point,
looked
Trust me. Trust me.
appetized, and then after he starts tossing the moss in, you can just see like, I mean, I don't usually have a very happy discretion, but or happy expression, but you can kind of see the disappointment.
yeah,
Trust me, trust
like
me, I
that
promise.
the guy in the stands
Orochi
with his
just
arms
looks
on his head is
disgusted.
just like,
Yeah.
Ybor, right? The moss is good, right? And I like mentally command my fire spirit to like nod its head.
yeah, you just see this like this this fire fucking
I think I'm gonna take the word of a
figure
ball of fire.
like move
Yeah.
the top portion of its body.
Yeah, I think I'll take the word of a ball of fire, whatever that
Trust
is.
me.
It naturally eats the greens, doesn't it?
Exactly.
You can see it.
See?
Uh,
Okay, just trust me. Just try it this once, please. I promise. If you don't like it, I'll never use the moss again. How does
you
that sound?
promise. You
I
promise
promise.
me.
I promise.
And after he finishes cooking, Orochi kind of takes out his mess kit, takes out his little wooden spoon,
Okay.
and just kind of carefully hoists it into his mouth.
Okay, and I will have you guys determine if you like the moss or not.
So the flavor profile that we came up for the moss was kind of spicy, right, Ryan?
However you want to. I don't know if we had to talk about it, but I just know that like you.
We talked about it during cooking when we were cooking the stew at home. I thought.
Oh.
So it's a little bit spicy, kind of like a herbal, not like licorice, but like
Wasabi.
yeah, like a wasabi kind of.
Like horseradish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes like spicy Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. I don't remember the flavor profile of it. It's essentially included in a lot of your meals, though, that you had with your mother
Yes.
Figwin. But it is totally up to Anarian and Orosi whether they think they would like something like this or not.
Orosi's
Little-
kind of looking at the pot as he's contemplating how he feels about it. Just could have been better without it.
You two have had owlbear before, and it's not that bad.
Uh-huh.
This moss gives it a different taste, but
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I'm not gonna stop eating it.
Okay, but is that a yes or a no? Like, are you mad about the moss or not?
I'm not mad, but don't put on everything we eat, please.
Okay, well, I'm not. I just wanted you guys
Well,
to try
you
it.
did ask me to put it on some fruit earlier, and spicy
Well,
fruit doesn't sound very appealing.
this is. So
I
cool.
don't know. Have you heard of these things called mangoes, man? They're really good with some spices. I promise.
Yeah, anybody ever had tahine before?
I don't think so.
You ever had tahine? Oh, dude. Anyways, well, it's like fruit seasoning. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
tahini
oh.
with mangoes. That's what I was
Oh
thinking.
yeah, I
of.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spicy fruit's good. I promise.
But anyways, you guys enjoy your owlbear meal.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably made like a stew or some sorts, gathering various vegetables in the local area. Spending about an hour or two out of your time to replenish yourselves for the rest of the journey. Forward. Go ahead.
I'm gonna actually put moss in my inventory. I haven't been. I've been sort of just like, you know,
Foraging.
I have the moss,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I'll actually add it as an item in my inventory now.
Okay. Is there anything anybody wishes to do during this period of resting for approximately a couple hours?
No. I mean, we're taking a short rest, so I'd get my spells back, but that's it.
Oh,
That's all I'm worried about.
yeah, short rest. Let me, if I'm remembering how I ruled short rests. 1 hour or 10 minutes with a healer's kit, which it's been a couple hours, and you guys were like eating, so it's different. Everybody can roll their hit die plus your con mod, and regain that HP.
Do druids get anything back on a short rest?
What do you mean get anything back? I don't think
Like
so.
spells or anything?
Spells are replenished on a long rest, I believe, and then
Only sorcerers, I think, is a short rest for them.
yeah. So roll your hit die. If you roll a 1, re-roll it, and then add your
I
con
don't need
mod.
to heal. I never got hit.
Yeah, so you're fine. But those that wish to take the time and tend to their wounds, re-roll that. You're good.
Reroll.
And then I think short rests are like 3 times a day. God dang, bro, the one. You rolled double 1s for your damage earlier too. This is just insane.
I did, yeah. Let me try that again. Oh, it used both of them. I'm gonna add them back real quick. Let me roll. What's going on your game?
And I
Oh,
get
there
my
we go. I gotta
Prism up
save
and
it,
second
and
wind from that.
Okay.
Apparently, you can have 2 short rests per day. Apparently, usually.
There we go. So that's
2 a day. Okay.
6.
I think.
Oh, I was at 8.
I think I'll roll it to 3 times a day. Let me look back. I don't think I said anything on the Discord about it, but I think I want to roll it 3 times a day because I think short rests per the book is a little bit stronger than the way I have it. So we'll say 3 times a day for now, and if I have to change it in the future, we'll go forward with that. But and that doesn't include like journeying and trekking. You guys would have to stop to get those rewards.
Yeah.
But okay. Anything else, or else we will continue on.
Nope.
Carry on.
I got my spells back. I've got my some of my health back, so I'm good.
Okay. I thought spells only replenish on a long rest.
With warlocks, it's short. Like specifically with warlocks.
Oh.
Warlocks is the special
Yeah.
one.
Really, all of your
That's
spells?
their. Yeah. Well, I only get 2 spell slots.
Oh, okay. I guess you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, warlocks. That's their gimmick, is they get to take a short rest and gain their spell slots back.
Okay. Interesting. Gathering up your things on a full stomach. Taking a little bit of the meat with you to kind of snack on your way.
Okay, I get my I get my wild shape back
Okay.
on a short rest.
Moving through the forest past the what you see now is a dead deer that the owlbear was feasting on. Moving forward into the forest, as the hours go by, much the same throughout the morning. Peering out over the landscape, finding patches of open area and patches where the forest is thicker. Engaging the wildlife, an elk there, a deer there, just kind of taking in the atmosphere, resting for the short period of time. Eldro, I know you weren't hit, but it was still kind of an ordeal going through combat with a fully grown owlbear.
Yeah.
Though
Those guys are scary, man. I told you.
Though as the hours pass, not much happens until the late afternoon. By the positioning of the sun, you could estimate it's probably around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. As in front of you, as you're kind of winding down a road from a hill, you notice a carriage on the side of the road. And you notice 3 humanoid figures attempting to go through this chest. The chest being next to the carriage. The carriage is much like your guys's. Maybe
Got it.
maybe a little bit smaller, but yeah, it appears to be 3 humans, or what you can best guess to be humanoid, rummaging through a chest on the side of the road next to a carriage. Probably about 100 or 200 feet in front of you. It's actually kind of far. You can see it off in the distance. So.
Okay. Does it look legit? Does it look like they're bandits rummaging through a cart? Like what a
Based on their attire, the attire and their demeanor doesn't provoke any sort of reaction of it being like dangerous, but from this distance you're not quite sure.
Okay.
It's well, I'll say it's much more common to run into regular everyday people on the side of the road than it is bandits, so take that
Okay.
as it may.
Yeah.
Can I just do like a what is it, perception check on?
If you'd like, but I'll say just for as you see them and you're disseminating them from a distance, I mean, you're not going to see much more of what I'm telling you right now.
As we approach, I kind of motion for Iljor to slow down the cart, and Orosi calls out to them, "Aye, what is going on here?
All right,
Need some help?"
venturing forward, you come within yelling distance as you yell out to kind of grab their attention, inquiring about what they are doing, and you see these 3 human individuals, dark hair, very commoner garb, this like cloth, like leather armor, not brandishing any weapons or anything, as they all sort of kind of like look like regular everyday dark-haired guys. One of the men closes the chest and looks up. They all kind of look up at you, but the one closest to you yells back. He says, "Oi! We seem to be in a bit of trouble here. We need help loading this chest into the cart. Would one of you care to help us?"
But of course.
I'm not very strong. I can't really.
I also don't. Like I stand up in the back and kind of watch. Just kind of like Overwatch of what's going on. You know, as Orochi goes to help. Orosi, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of watch him. You know, make sure they're not going to try and pull anything. I'll just keep an eye out.
Okay. As the cart comes closer, as your cart comes closer, coming to a stop, Orosi, I'm guessing you depart from the carriage and kind of make your way towards them.
Yeah.
Okay. Being about 15 or about like 20 feet away, you step off, and 2 of the guys kind of hang back, and one of the men kind of meet you halfway, reaches out his hand to shake your hand.
Receive it. Shake his hand.
Nice to meet you. My name is Laurel. Me and my brothers here are just kind of making this trek back to our cottage, and our carriage somehow broke a wheel. That was no issue. We're well versed in fixing carriages. The wheel is fixed, however. The chest came out, and we're just having kind of a hard time in putting it back. Even amongst 3 men, this thing is very heavy.
I might.
And Rosie just kind of guides himself over to it, and he kind of sizes up the chest.
I might be able to help a little bit, actually.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a strength check to see if I can just pick the thing up and throw it into the cart
Okay.
before Rat can do anything.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm gonna try to use. I don't know if you'll rule that it can work this way, but the cantrip is called Mold Earth, and one of the ways that it says that you can use it is that you can target an area of loose earth, like dirt, and you can instantaneously excavate it, move it, and put it somewhere 5 feet away. So what I was thinking was taking a spot of dirt and moving it under the chest and using it to lift the chest.
So let me touch on Orosi's strength check, and then that'll kind of give more credence and more context to what you're trying to do. So, Orosi, as you attempt to pick up the chest yourself, immediately upon going down to it, one of the other guys, one of the brothers, looks at you and says, "I don't know if." He just kind of gets this like very awkward look as you attempt to pick up the chest, and it is disgustingly heavy. it's so heavy. Amongst 3 guys, we're even having trouble like lifting it fully into the cart. You know that this is probably at least a 4-person job, as the chest is very, very heavy. Now, touching upon Raptor, your spell that you're trying to do, this would work for things that were that would weigh a lot less. They would have to be powerful force in the spell to lift something like that up off the ground and move it. So if it was like an empty chest or something a little bit lighter, I would say yeah, absolutely. But just due to how heavy it is, unfortunately, that would not work.
I just try, but like the dirt like can't get under the chest.
Yeah, the dirt accumulates, but there's not like, as you feel it, as the spell the spell is like occurring, it's just unable to lift up.
Basically, the dirt is just sort of
behind it. It's just there.
Yeah.
the dirt is just like piling up against the side of the chest. Okay, and I mold earth and I put it back in the hole.
Okay.
So it's not away.
Orosi kind of glances at the 2 guys. Just like, come on, I can't do this by myself. And Orosi kind of positions himself at one of the quarters and just kind of nods. I think it was Laurel or whatever he named himself to be.
Yeah, Laurel. As
Laurel.
the 3 brothers take 3 sides of the chest and you grab the other side. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Yes. Oh, sweet Jesus!
As you, what's the bonus set? 4, so you get a 4.
Yeah.
As you're lift the chest up, the guy on the other side of you actually rolled a nat 20. As you can see, the chest just kind of like go diagonal as they attempt to grab their balance, and they kind of look at you, this strong fighter. Go ahead and roll another strength check. You have it, but in order to hold on, go ahead and make another strength. That's actually,
better.
Yeah, that's actually just enough. As the combined strength of all of these guys, as your side is still a little bit leaning, the guy on the other side is able to just kind of maneuver in such a way to kind of just get the edge on the cart, and as the cart forcefully goes down at like probably a few centimeters with the weight of the chest. Sorry, as it comes upon the back of the carriage, everybody, you and the 3 brothers are just kind of pushing this towards the back, as it's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Scraping across the bottom of the carriage to the back. And as one of the brothers is huffing and puffing, wipes the sweat. Thank you. If you guys hadn't come along, I'm not sure what would we do with this chest. We'd surely have to leave it. The 2 other brothers come up to you. One takes out his hand. My name's Marcus. And the other, Anthony.
Do any of them look
Orosi.
injured?
No, they don't appear to be injured.
Because they said that their carriage broke, and I was wondering if any of them might have gotten hurt. In the event or anything.
Yeah, no, it doesn't appear to be any sort of crazy occurrence. Like they had described, it was just kind of the wheel broke, a couple things fell out, and they had to get it fixed. Oof.
Nice, that one.
Ryan,
you cursed this campaign somehow.
Dude, you rolled a natural 20 for the very first roll, and then you like praised the campaign after that. So,
sucking the life out of it. Good job, Raptor.
As the initial brother Laurel wipes the sweat from his brow. Look, we do really appreciate you guys stopping. As several carts that just kind of went by, we own a cottage up down the road, just cresting over the hill over there. Suppose it wouldn't trouble you to join us for dinner tonight?
That sounds wonderful.
Orosi kind of, glances back at the 2 people still in the cart. I think some respite would be welcomed. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't get what was your name again?
Orosi Rogar.
And he walks over to you and Arian. And your name?
Nick has perished.
Nick, are you muted?
No, it was muted. I said, call me Neron.
Neron, and your friend here?
I'm Ildjor. Hi.
Ildjor. My name's Laurel. This is Mark, and this is Anthony.
Hi, Mork. Hi, Mindy.
Anthony and Mark.
Oh, sorry.
He's
Your friend there.
he's something.
You know, it's not every day we come across a Furbolg, a drow,
It's been a
and
bad day,
dragonborn.
man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure it's not.
Anyways, our business is ours and your business is yours, but like I said, we own a cottage just up the road, up on the hill. Why don't you follow us?
Word.
Of course.
And,
And Rosie goes to hop back up into the cart.
absolutely. And, the four brothers kind of take their place within their carriage. And then the rest of the things in the carriage besides the chest are various, construction materials, lumber, various tools, bricklaying, things of that sort. As they tend to their horses really quickly, just making sure they're all right after the incident. Jumping back into the carriage, they journey on down the road, and you follow a little bit behind them. As the roads weave, you come upon this kind of open area, more so than the rest, as the path kind of comes around and winds up this hill. And cresting just behind a tree, you see this large house on a hill. Very human in architecture, as it seems very old. Think of almost like an old plantation house, with a very large porch and several stories. White with various what are those things on on the outside of the windows that open and close, whatever. I forgot what they're called.
Fuck.
Shutters?
Shutters.
Shutters. Just sitting on top of this hill,
Window closing
overlooking.
devices.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, peering over this hill and the Silverdale as a whole, as off behind the house sits a large kind of windmill-looking structure. Very quaint place, very old. You're not getting any sort of bad vibes from these three brothers. And since it's a very open area, you're not really worried about any sort of ambush or anything. But yeah, just a beautiful house on the countryside overlooking the Silverdale. And that is where we will end the session for tonight, as we will pick it up at these brothers' residence. So,
Hog champ.
yeah, I thought I
So-
overwrote, but that was like 2.5 hours. That's pretty decent time.
pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What do you boys think about Ildjor?